I think the biggest thing for me throughout this like odd period of time that we're going through is definitely just figuring out other ways besides making music. I think it's more of like how can you find ways to find different revenues of money coming in besides your own specific music. Maybe you're not streaming, maybe you're not able to go on tour, but what else can you do? Like, can you write songs for other people? Can you just find other ways to bring in cash flow or expand your artistry? And I feel like for me it was really just kind of finding those ways to be more effective. And like for me, I built my own studio, like you were saying. I actually went and I bought myself a mic, bought myself speakers. I started out a little home-based setup, and it's really been effective because I've taught myself things that I don't think I would have taught myself if this never happened, like the pandemic. So just being a little bit more self-efficient and resourceful, and just really kind of thinking about how I could be more effective in case something like this happens in the future, right? And you're not always going to be like, for me, I want to be a big artist, and I want to grow, and my own music is what I want to focus on. But at the end of the day, maybe you won't be able to do that forever. But I do want to songwrite, and I do want to produce, and I do want to engineer, and find other ways of being in the music business if that's possible. And I think that I've really just focused on that. Like, how can I take my music and really expand it so that it's not just JYDN making music, but an empire, and how can I be the CEO of that company? And so, yeah, just really just focusing on being the sole creator of my own music through the studio, figuring out ways of coming up with multiple streams of revenue. So songwriting, like before this whole pandemic happened, I went to Korea. And so I was writing K-pop in January, and it was a dope experience because it really showed me that, there's multiple ways of revenue. And sometimes the small, the things that you may consider to be small pieces of music actually bring in the biggest finance. So yeah, just like those are probably the things that I've been focusing on. Obviously, like finding different creative ways to make music and put out music. So, with all these like quarantine videos, that I see artists doing, like Kalani, and they're really being creative of the way that they're doing. They don't have the big budget videos, and they're not spending time in like flying around and doing crazy shots and film setups and stuff like that. So I'm just trying to be resourceful like them. Like we're all in the same place right now. We're stuck in our homes, and we're trying to figure out what's the next step for our careers. And I feel like just being able to navigate through that and coming up with just being creative is the main thing for me, and just continuing and not being stagnant, because I feel like that's when you get left behind, and especially in today's day and age, you don't want to be left behind because stuff just passes you by in the music industry. Going into quarantine without knowing that this was going to happen, I feel like I was on a roll. Creatively, I felt like I was in one of the best places I've ever been, and going into this, and then being stuck in the house, and it completely putting a stop to your travel plans and all the stuff that you had for the year. I wanted 2020 to be a big year for me. I thought it was going to be a year where I really ascended to the next level as an artist. And sometimes you have to go a different path, and I feel like I'm still getting there. But this is perfect for me because I feel like I feel like it's been generally positive, but there's certain points where you're stuck in the house, you see what's going on in the world, and all the chaos and everything. You get kind of down, and at the end of the day, mental health is an important thing, and you can't just brush it to the side. And I feel like everybody's kind of going through the same thing where they really just have to think about the world stopped, right? Nothing is going on right now, really, like it was before. So you really got to think about what you want. What are your desires? Like, what are you doing? What's your purpose on this planet? Like, what legacy maybe are you leaving behind? How do you treat others in certain scenarios? And I feel like you just really have to be intrapersonal and really think about like who you are as a person. And a lot of people don't have the time to do that because they're so busy with their lives. We're working 9 to 5s, or we're, grinding and striving hard to get to our goals. And so you don't really think about yourself. You just kind of put it to the side and you just do what you got to do. And I feel like a lot of people are uncomfortable with, really just sitting down and thinking about like, how can I be like more comfortable with myself? And I feel like that's what I did, because there was points where I feel like everything was positive, but I had major creative writing block. So I couldn't write a song because I haven't been out. And I feel like I just really focused on like, okay, why do I feel this way? You know what I'm saying? Like, why? What are my insecurities, and what are the the reasons why I feel maybe sad and upset about certain things, and I really got to address the problems in my life. And I'm, everyone's still, everyone goes through them, and it's not something that you just completely you're rid of, and you're just perfectly good after, But now I know really how to attack those, and I didn't know how to do it before the pandemic. I kind of just pushed it to the side, and I always used my motivation as kind of like a defense mechanism for not focusing on my mental health. So I feel like that has actually opened up, more avenues for being creative when writing, because now you're able to actually write from a different perspective. Maybe you're writing about certain feelings that you never were able to write about before. So it's been positive, but it's also been negative. But the negative is always something that, if you harnessed it, you can really become a better person, or, find ways to better yourself and learn and move forward. So that, I would say, it's been generally positive, but, we're making it work.